Good morning, everybody. Can you see me and hear me? Mic on? Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Thank you, Jill. I'm going to stay on about an hour to an hour and a half today, and then I'm going to come back on later in the week because I still owe you 20 minutes from last week also. Just flipped. So you all are going to see me using a new deck that I'm working on today. Called the Verdict Vault. It's not done yet. There's going to be more cards than this, so it's not going to be available yet. But I'm going to use it because I want to start to like see what else I need to put in it, if that makes sense. All right, let me go back to the top here. Will I go to California in September or October to get my stuff from my ex's house? September. October. I feel like it's more likely October, although this ex may kind of try and prevent you from doing this or may make you feel uncomfortable in some way, but I don't feel like it's September. Dreamt Claria and Callie inside same house. Will this come to pass and will they get along? I feel like it's going to be some time. I feel like this is a strong possibility, but there's one factor that's still up in the air, and it feels like it's one person, like either one person holding it back, one person making a decision, one person something. It does feel like they'll get along, but the last piece that has to fall into place is that one factor or that one person. Almost like that person right now is a bungee cord. The bungee cord needs to be cut. How does CG feel about me? Will she be fair when our aunt passes? Almost like I'm biding my time and I'm trying to keep the peace now because I want to kind of sneak in and grab something when the time comes. Oops. That doesn't go dimmer, and I have the star here. Almost like when the time comes, I want to try and shine a light in your eye so you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to keep the peace now. There's some sneakiness in the energy for that person. My brother is living a more positive life. Is there a spiritual reason he keeps running into so many obstacles? Yes. With the devil coming out, big yes. Interesting. Almost like a disconnection from his spirit team that he needs to start to reconnect with, or it could be a disconnection from a facet of himself. So like inner teen, inner child. Almost like I keep experiencing these things externally until I look internally and figure out what part of myself I'm disconnected from. The answer to how to get out of this is in what he's avoiding. Third eye chakra. It's like I can't see what comes next. I'm having trouble visualizing what's the point in certain things. So I'm blocking myself off away from processing that pain because I don't see what I would get from processing it besides just more pain. What is the meaning behind dreaming that I drive in total darkness without being able to see and then running off the road? There's some way in which you feel like you left yourself in the dark. You did not give your 2 cents. You did not allow your feelings to come out. It's like you feel this, like, I guess you'd say self-abandonment, because there was a situation where you were not able to fully speak your truth. And it's almost like you are feeling like you left part of yourself in the dark by doing that. And you don't have a way to go back and bring closure to that situation, it feels. So your psyche is trying to process it in a different way. Yeah, justice. Trying to process it in a different way, trying to regain balance. Almost like when you pass away and go through a life review, not that you're about to pass away, but when you pass away, you go through a life review. It's almost like you're going through an active dream life review so that you can give yourself the closure that you weren't able to get from the actual situation itself, if that makes sense, in which you felt like you abandoned yourself by not being able to speak everything you needed to say. Did I understand your reading on my mod question correctly concerning upcoming communication being about my husband? Yes. It feels like something you thought that the both of you could get on the same page about is going to be a bigger obstacle. Almost like it may seem like you take one step forward and 2 steps back in some regard, but it does feel like, yes, that's the right topic. Did my ex also receive money from British Steel share scheme in 2007 and hide this money from me? He stole money from my share scheme. So the bird is either landing or coming, right? So it's either he initiated some kind of communication or some kind of communication came into him. The Page of Swords is here defending that. So I'm hiding this communication regarding finances. I would say yes. Did my invitation for my brother's surprise party really get lost in the mail? There's something this person is avoiding. It feels like I try and see if I can use this excuse to get away from this so that I can avoid this interaction or this conversation. Yeah, blindfold coming off. I don't think it got lost in the mail, no. I don't think it got lost in the mail. Getting warmer. So this way would be getting warmer. This way would be getting colder. So we're going in the right direction. There's something he's avoiding. I don't feel like you understand the extent of why he's avoiding it yet, but there's something he's avoiding that caused that invitation to not be sent. I have a meetup. My chair won't stop moving by itself. I moved my chair and I think that my office is like the floor's not straight here. Anyway, I have a meetup Saturday with my son. Will this resolve our issues? I just felt called to look down at my phone and it looks like the card that I just got. Okay, so like that was the part of the card, the getting colder card. Well, it was getting warmer, but it's sitting this way, so getting colder. But look, it looks the same. And what did I say about that one? It's like the invitation was never sent. I have a meetup Saturday with my son. Will this resolve our issues? I don't feel like it's going to resolve the issues. I feel like there's something he's avoiding as well. Almost like I start to take a step forward towards resolution, but I'm not able to go all the way there yet. 7 of Wands in reverse. It's like I need to see, if I'm your son, I need to see your perspective on something before I'm able to figure out how I want to handle that piece of it. But I need to see your perspective first, truth, before I'm able to communicate clearly what's going on inside my head to you. I feel like it's a step in the right direction, but not where you want it to be yet. Do I have a twin flame? Yes, and it feels like you already know this person. You had some kind of painful ending with this person already. Nine of Swords reversed when I split the deck with death behind it. This person caused some kind of death and rebirth cycle for you. I guess there's a chance you don't know this person yet, and when they come in, they will cause a death and rebirth cycle, but this feels like this has already happened. Yes, I would say you do. Especially with Nine of Pentacles reverse, it's like I'm not independent, I'm not alone. There's a counterpart to me. Does Heidi K have a curse on B and I? I don't know if I'd call it a curse, but there's some kind of intention to take you out of your power or to get you to not see something that would have let you be in your power. So like, I'm trying to make it so you don't find out about X, Y, and Z, because then you would recognize what I'm trying to hide from you. It feels like there's some kind of communication that holds significance here. Typically, this is just one person sitting here, but since it's after tarot, someone else is coming over to like eat with them. It feels like there's something that this person is going to a fair extent to try and hide when it comes to some kind of communication that involves you. Let me go to these. Thank you. Let's put one of these for you. We often carry mountains we were meant only to climb. There's something that you're being encouraged to kind of put down or to see what's your burden and what's not. When will my house sell, and will it sell for asking price? I would say asking price, no. It feels like you're going to get close, but not exactly there. There's some kind of change that you're going to need to make. It does feel like you're going to see what's blocking this from selling so far. So like whether it's needing to change something in the home, change some kind of representation, change the way that you're communicating with potential buyers or something like that. It's like there's some kind of change that's significant that's going to be made before it sells. So I have today. Almost like me saying this to you is making you, or is confirming to you something you've been considering changing, because there's something that's standing in the way of this happening. Yes. Okay. So whatever it is that you've been considering making a change about with this, that change needs to be made for this to sell. I have October coming up as significant, but it came out in reverse. So I am wondering if this is saying October of next year at the latest. It does feel like there's a bit more time than this October, or that could be representing 10 months. So 10 months would be August, September, October, November, December, January, March, April, May, June. June, between June and October is what I feel. Message from my guides and a song and token. Way Up by Ryan Oakes. And Christmas Bells. Christmas Bells with number 56. Way Up. Way Up. You're going to learn about some kind of deception before this Christmas time that allows you to start the new year in a different energy. It's going to allow you to complete some kind of cycle of holding back, almost like a truth you learn sets you free from dimming yourself for other people's sake. Yeah, Page of Swords in reverse. It's like You're recognizing that some kind of redirection was actually divine protection, and that allows you to have the confidence to trust your team to move forward with something that feels a little scary or a little out of your comfort zone. Is G abusive in any way and cheating on R? Is this person abusive? I would word this as controlling, especially when it comes to what R would and would not be allowed to do. So like I feel like I should have more of a say over what you do than you do type energy. Is this person cheating? I wouldn't say cheating. I would say I like attention. I like to get the attention. This could be like flirting, or I like to see people desire me, but I don't feel like cheating is where it's at right now. Although with that in the energy, it's not impossible for it to go there. It feels like that person's dealing with an ego wound of some sort. Two more, then hop back to the other list. Today I have a job interview not in my school for SPED teaching position. For special ed teaching position, will I get the job? That's confusing. Contradict. I feel like there's something holding it back. Although I feel like there's something that could shift because we do have a new opportunity coming, but this could be a different opportunity. When I turn my back on what doesn't work, I find what does. I feel like this isn't going to be the right position for you. And you're going to learn that because you're going to see what would be better for you. Why is my aunt doing the horrible things she's doing? Is it mental illness, dark influence, bad intention, or a combination? Is it mental illness, dark influence? Yes. Bad intention. Bad intention, I would reword to extreme jealousy. I didn't get what I wanted out of life, so I'm making that everyone's problem who seems to be getting what they want out of life. So it feels like a combination between dark influence and bad intention. Not that there's not some mental things going on, but it feels more like mental avoidance of things that if I didn't avoid them, I wouldn't be mentally unwell. It's just what I'm avoiding and numbing that's making me feel not well. Is Ken planning a trip with me? Feels like I'm trying to plan, or I'm trying to see where we're at before I plan the trip. This would be lack of travel, but there's a commitment to some kind of connection here. So it's almost like I want to see if we can make it past this marker, and then if we do, then the trip would be there. That it's in the energy, it's just not right now. So it does feel like it's something that could happen in the future, but it's almost like I want to be more sure about where we're at before we make that step. Message from my spirit team. These two really want to come out. There's some kind of closure that you're waiting for, but the closure needs to come from within. It's like you provide yourself the closure. Whoever it is that would be on the other end of this closure, they're not ready. It feels like something that has to do with family, almost like an answer that you're never going to get clarity on, but your intuition has filled in the blanks for you. So there's a need to kind of trust yourself. And I feel like I need to pull you a token as a confirmation for some reason. An ice cream cone with number 44 is the token. Were my children essay in childhood by their father? I have True Colors by XO Cupid coming out as the song. It feels more along the lines of like something that you would say, oh, don't tell people about this, but not crossing the line into that per se. At least I'm not getting a confirmation of that right now. It does feel like there's something that's hidden though, or something that's intended to be hidden, because it would cause me a battle if people knew. I'm trying to avoid the battle. I feel like there's something specific you have a hunch about, and you're on the right track, but just don't have all the right pieces of it yet, if that makes sense. Messages and a token. It's a bat with number 89. A bat. And I'm hearing nocturnal. There's something being worked through in your dreams. You might be having really weird dreams, really intense dreams. You might be having night sweats, or you might be getting like really deep sleep. Whatever it is, just trust the flow. There's something being worked through in your dreams right now. And it's not like you're not like under attack or anything. It's more of like your consciousness working through things in the sleeping state that are too difficult to process in the awake state. We have broken trust with inner critic in reverse. It's like if your consciousness worked through this during the day, you would fall into this like anger at yourself, or like looking at it as, why am I being punished? But your brain is getting a different perspective on some kind of broken trust wound. But it's better for you if this unpacks when you're not there to potentially blame yourself for maybe what you allowed to continue, or like trusting the wrong person. It's like, it's not a punishment, it's a release. And that's why it's happening while you're sleeping. Message from my spirit team and a song. Along the Way by Echo. And it shows someone that's like, what's that called? Why can't I think of what that's called right now? Getting picked up by another car. What is it called? Anyway, Devil in Reverse. Hitchhiking. Communication, Devil in Reverse. You've spoken on something and it felt like it fell on deaf ears, but progress is about to be made because of what you spoke. Even if it doesn't come from the person you initially spoke it to. Yeah, it's coming from somewhere else. It's like you spoke on something that was difficult. I'm hearing like voice quivering type energy. Like I'm nervous to speak on this, but I speak on it. It feels like it makes no progress, but progress is coming, just not in the way that you anticipate it, because it's bigger than just that conversation. A rose petal appeared on my floor. You said, from spiritual energy of an older man, in apology for harsh words, living or past. Initial. Where's my... I don't know where to put that. Oh, there it is. I have L. E and O may also be significant. So it could be that this person is a Leo, or L, E, or O may be significant. Living or past. Someone who's passed. Almost like someone who wouldn't have been able to give this apology in a way that felt authentic. Like it would have felt either out of place or forced or like weird if they were to give it to you when they were still alive. Flying Without Wings by Ruben Studdard. Stuttered. They wouldn't be able to, maybe they have a stutter, or maybe like you can imagine if this person tried to apologize when they were alive, they may have had this like involuntary nervous stutter to it, if that makes sense, like something they wouldn't typically say. What can my guides tell me about the other approach needed with my husband? Other approach needed. You're seeing him as, you're putting him into his higher potential of emotional intelligence, and he's not there yet. You're speaking from a place of logic that he's not able to pick up on because he's not in that same room of emotional logic. Like you're not necessarily approaching it incorrectly. You're just approaching it from somewhere that he's not able to meet you at. He's too triggered to hear you clearly. It's looking at it as you're attacking me or you're coming after me instead of you're trying to get on the same page as me. So needing to just approach it knowing that that's the way that he's going to continue to see it, like you're coming at him instead of coming towards him, like you're attacking him instead of holding space for him. You're not, but that's how he's going to continue to see it because he's not ready to see it a different way. Will my health improve and will I get a settlement soon? Will my health improve? It's kind of giving, it may get a little worse before it gets better. That could be, I get some kind of treatment for something and the side effects are uncomfortable at first, or it could be I figure something out and that's a little daunting, but then I figure out a solution, but I needed to figure out what it was so I could figure out a solution. For some reason, I'm feeling to tell you that there's a second opinion needed on something. Yeah, the Devil in reverse, 6 of Swords, Justice. When I said that, it feels like there's a second opinion needed on something. A second opinion would give you a better solution than what the first opinion has given you, if that makes sense. Will you get a settlement soon? Yes, but not soon. There is something being offered to you, but not soon because that Knight was in reverse. 2 more, and then I'm going to go back to the other list. Is the Rescuer L the bungee cord? Is the Rescuer L the bungee cord? I'm going to say no. Denied. I want to say no. Denied. No, I don't feel like that's the bungee cord. Or I don't feel like they are the bungee cord. Any message of guidance today? There's something you're being encouraged to talk through, whether this be with another person, whether this be just with yourself in like a journal form, in like a filming yourself talking form. It's like you need to hear yourself in full expression to be able to work through whatever this is. There's fulfillment available, but you're not getting it yet because it's like there's a need to take this action step towards release of some kind of vulnerability that you're holding in right now out of a state of fear. So there's a need to kind of work through verbally what you've been unpacking mentally. And as you do, you see the solution. Where did I go on this list? Any messages from my mom? Is there some kind of like tradition or hobby or something that the two of you would do at the end of summer, or that she would do at the end of summer. It's like something that would help you feel better, like almost like an Easter egg type thing in a video game. It's like it's right there, but you're not thinking to do it. But if you do it, it's going to be more healing than you may imagine. Yeah, going into calmer waters. It feels like something that was done when she was alive towards the end of summer that holds significance here. The TV and your phone glitches when I'm sending you signals. It was in reverse. It's almost like this need to get out and do something outside that makes you feel close to her. It'll be more healing than you're imagining it being. Cinderella by Stephen Curtis Chapman is the song. And there's two people dancing on the card, so that may be significant as well. What is the direction my husband's job is taking him? Feels like slow forward progress, but not. There's something he's fearing. It feels like that's not going to happen. There's something he's hoping for. It feels like that might not happen either. It's almost like this is a situation where, like, maybe he's given more responsibility, but not necessarily the raise that should come with it as like a trial period or something like that. It feels like something similar to that would be unfolding here. Yeah, it's like there's some kind of test. Okay, so it's like I give you an inch of something to see if you can handle it, and then there's a waiting period before forward progress is how that feels. But there's also something that he's fearing happening, and it doesn't feel like that fear is going to be actualized. Numb and Encore by Jay-Z and Linkin Park. I feel like he's getting tired of something. Like, I'm tired of waiting, or I'm tired of putting in all this effort and not getting the results or the rewards. Is there a message from my mom? There's some kind of like message in a TV show, or like something that you were like, oh, that feels like it's confirmation from my mom, or a message from my mom, or communication from my mom. It was. I want to say it has something to do with a TV, like something you were watching on TV. It could be like something you were watching on your phone as well. The number 80 with a perfume bottle that's like puffing. It's making me think of like the genie in Aladdin. Like, I pop up, I give you a message, and I pop back out. It feels like she's confirming a message that she's already given to you. You're questioning if it was from her, or if you understood it correctly, and you did. Piano Man by Billy Joel is the song. Oh, sing me a song, Mr. Piano Man. She already sang you the message, or gave you the message. Maybe she literally sang. Did I wait too long is what it says on the screen. Did I wait too long? So maybe this was in the last couple weeks that you're questioning if you understood the message, or if the message was from her, and it was. And as I switch the song, it's Head Start by Lucidius. I gave you a head start to unpack it, and now I'm confirming that you understood it correctly. Will my daughter ever talk to me or forgive me for whatever and see my grandsons? There's avoidance. It's almost like whatever happened between the two of you is very triggering to something else that she's not ready to heal. So it feels like it's depending on that other factor. When I'm ready to heal that, I'll be able to potentially be triggered by conversating with you, type of thing. It feels like it's going to be a bit. Where did I put that down? It feels like it's going to be a bit of time still. I have November coming out as significant. I don't feel like it's this November, though. I feel like next November would likely be the earliest, or there'll be some kind of attempt at communication before next November. But it feels like it's not something that's going to happen before this November or during this November. Any messages from guides, song, or a token? A gear with number 20. The gears are turning. There's something that you're putting together here in your mind and you're reading it correctly. This feels like another situation of redirection is divine protection when it comes to something relating to family. There's some kind of experience that wouldn't be beneficial for you, and the gears are turning to put you in the right place at the right time instead of the wrong place at the wrong time. So trust the redirection is the message. Praying by Kesha is the song. I'm proud of who I am. Almost like someone who would serve to try and bring you down, and you don't need that test right now. So you're being put in a secure place within the situation. Any messages about the direction of my love life? I would say there's still some kind of fighting chance here, but it's going to require patience. Patience and commitment. Each of you need to get on the same page about patience and commitment. It's almost like, it almost feels like one of you is expecting the other to give an ultimatum, and there's that like black cloud looming over one of your heads, like as you wait for it. So there's a need to have a conversation about getting on the same page so that that's not kind of following you around. It feels like there's a lot still up in the air, but there's things that are being avoided being talked about that as they're talked about, progress will be able to happen a little bit swifter or smoother. What lesson do I need to learn this week? You have the same two cards, patience and commitment, not getting too ahead of yourself. Almost like there's an idea that you've had or that you're going to have, and you need to take time on like creating the blueprint of it and not just rushing forward. If you rush forward, there's the potential for you to like feel like you need more than what you have. But if you take your time and create the planning, you'll see that you already have everything you need. This feels like either like a lifestyle change or some kind of passion project. Oh, let me go to this list. Any messages of guidance? Messages of guidance. You can't change other people's minds, even if you make a very valid point. It feels like you are spending a lot of mental energy trying to figure out how to get someone to see something from your point of view, or this could be something that's going to unfold this week. But it's like, what's that saying? It's like, don't throw good money after bad. I don't know. The saying doesn't all the way make sense to me. But anyway, like, don't waste all of your energy trying to convince someone to see something logically when they're not thinking from a place of logic. It's like sometimes you need to just let things be what they are and trust that that person will come around to the knowledge when they're supposed to. Whoever it is that you're dealing with or will be dealing with, it's like a lack of emotional intelligence here, not knowing how to express what they're feeling. 2C concerns, results, health future 2024, 2C concerns. You're avoiding the worst case scenario, but there is something that's going to need to be done in terms of either preventative care, further testing, or like What would be another example? Like we're going to keep an eye on this, so we're going to schedule multiple testings so that we can periodically check on something. But it feels like also you're not getting the worst case scenario answer. So it's like something that needs to be looked at and altered or changed or further looked into or continuously looked into, but you're not getting like a scary answer, if that makes sense. Health future 2024. You're not going into calmer waters, but you're not getting the worst case scenario either. Feels like a lot of figuring out what changes need to be made so that you don't have to make drastic changes in the future. If we make small changes now, it will avoid the need for drastic changes in the future. Wrote my question above. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Will my son reach out to me? I'm being blocked. So many lies, and I fear court because they have a lot of money. I'm having a hard time moving on. Will my son reach out to me? I don't feel like that's something that's going to happen, at least not soon. I don't feel like it's something that's going to happen this year. No, Chariot in reverse. I don't feel like there's something specifically blocking that from happening. Almost like I'm trying to just if I'm your son, I'm trying to just ignore it, put it behind me so I don't have to deal with it anymore. Like, I don't want to be re-triggered by it. I kind of get this message of like hiding behind money. Like, I'm trying to make you aware that I could silence you with money so that I don't have to emotionally feel the trigger that would come up if we just were to sit down and try and talk about things. So like I'm hiding behind the money that you know I have so that I don't have to emotionally face the Sun in reverse, the Magician in reverse, that communication that I don't want to sit with. I'm being blocked. So many lies. It feels like hiding behind a wall that was previously set. So I put certain seeds in place so that if I need to use them against you, I can. Who's in his ear? There's someone else in his ear that's causing this to be worse. Queen of Cups in reverse. So this could be a spouse. This could be someone who is coming from an emotionally numb or immature place. It may be someone who feels like if he reconciles with you, it will make them not as close. But this Queen of Cups in reverse is very heavily in his ear. Almost like he doesn't want to disappoint this person, or he doesn't want this person to think he's weak, or he doesn't want this person to like use something against him. I'm having a hard time moving on. It feels like there's a deeper spiritual lesson in all of this, that as you start to look into that, you'll start to find inner child. You feel this sense of forced abandonment. It's like you feel like you're being forced to abandon him, and it's triggering the part of you that feels abandoned. So there's a need to kind of look into how that's affecting you as well. It feels like that's a big part of the spiritual lesson as to why the physical manifestation of that lesson is being persistent. Where was I? One second. Who is behind my nasty troll? Who is behind my nasty troll? Someone who you know secrets about. And there's been a situation where either those secrets have been brought up. It's like, you know, something about someone's past that could make their past a problem in their present, and they're trying to avoid that at all costs. Token for the week. Having trouble picking one up. It's a hammer. Number 87. I'm having trouble picking it up. Having trouble picking up the hammer. There's some work that needs to be done. There's some kind of conversation that needs to be had that there's some resistance to starting, almost like a hard truth that you need to reveal to someone. Or it could be with the King of Cups in reverse, needing to call someone out on their untruth or sneakiness or hidden agenda, or just like there's a conversation coming that's going to be difficult to start but necessary to have. And with the Ace of Cups, you're divinely protected to speak your mind here. Will my life get any better? I feel super stuck right now. Not until you learn the lesson that is the reason for the stagnancy. It's almost like, I did a reading on this last week. What did I say? It was like, sometimes the lesson will repeat until you learn to choose growth over comfort. That's how you put down the burden. There's some kind of mindset shift that needs to occur here. What's the wound causing? Energy imbalance, creativity blockage, would root back to the inner child. It feels like there's an avoidance of how much an inner child wound is affecting you, or even an inner teen wound is affecting you, and needing to address how that's blocking your ability for creative solutions. It feels like that's kind of all tied together. Messages from my mom. Whoever it was that you had some kind of weird falling out with, that was for your protection. There's this feeling of like someone else projecting their own insecurities or fears onto you, and that person needing to kind of take a seat because you are going forward, and this person was seeking to kind of hold you back because that's where they were held back. I love you with all my soul's being is the message. Feels like she kind of was like, okay, this person has got to go. So she wants you to be okay with it because it was by her hand as a form of protection. Put a Little Love in Your Heart by Jackie D. Shannon. And I'm going to close the super chats. Sherry K is the last super chat. There's 18 right now. Message and a song, please. Look What You've Done by Jet. So you're quickly going into calmer waters. You're jetting. Instead of boating, you're taking a jet. So instead of going with the flow, you're speeding into a better situation. You're avoiding whatever it was that you were fearing as the worst case scenario, because you handled a situation with enough emotional maturity that you've kind of gifted yourself a second chance at redoing something that was blocked before. So you're getting a second chance at some kind of beneficial change because you stayed aligned with your own emotional maturity. Your emotional maturity is allowing for some kind of physical security to come into your life, some feeling of security. Can you see if you can get the first letter of my significant other's first name? Let me pull one of these first. I'm getting a T or a J is significant. So that could be the third eye. It feels like this person's going to feel familiar to you. A T or a J, it could be TJ. This person's going to feel familiar. It doesn't feel like you know them. It feels like they're going to feel familiar when you meet them. Today was my mother's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your mother. Happy birthday. Any messages from her? "8 Days a Week" by the Beatles. There's a desire from her to have you just kind of sit out in nature is kind of what I'm getting, or like this feeling of like, give me the opportunity to show how close I am to you. It's my gift to myself for my birthday. It could be like some kind of sign that you receive, but it feels like there's this guidance. I'm seeing like you sitting on a bench or something, like in a little flowery or tree area. Is that a phone? What is that? Oh, it's a present. Oh no, it's a breakfast on a plate with number 52. 52 feels like Christmas in reverse. So I'm gifting myself. Almost like have a little tea date with her or something to that effect, and allow her the opportunity to show you how present she is with you. It feels like that's like the gift she wants to give to herself. Sometimes I move your things around. Sorry if you find something missing. Is there some kind of like tea date that you used to have with her, or some kind of like we sit outside? It feels like she wants you to do that. The bond we share is unbreakable and unforgettable. Yeah, like a reignition of that physical connection in some way. Thank you. One of these for you. Ooh. Become obsessed with the fact that your potential is limitless. You can be anything and everything that you want. You're being called to like turn the dial up on some kind of passion. Like that quote that's like, Delulu is the solution. Not necessarily be delusional, but like there's a need to really take a big leap of faith on yourself when it comes to something you've been considering doing. You've already gotten all of the speed bumps out of the way, or you have the tools to handle any speed bumps that would come forward. Last one, I'm going to go to the other list. What does the number 103 mean for me? You gave me a token and that came up. What's the number one? Oh, well, that's a 3. Full steam ahead, or path is clear ahead. So 103, the 2 is missing. And if we have 5 minus 3, that's the 2. So it's like a confirmation of things coming together so that you can move forward. Almost like a thumbs up of sorts from your spirit team. And now we have lightning with number 41. So like lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot. That's the quote, right? So it's like, when there's an opportunity that needs your attention right away that would help you move forward, you're going to see that as like a pay attention from your guides. One second. Will the new CT scan on my foot show why my foot is still not healed? Kinda. Almost like, okay, we see this area of concern. Now we have to figure out what the concern is. Almost like the reference I'm getting is if like you take a scan, there's like a weird shadow or something, and it's like, okay, we got to figure out why that's there. So it feels like a step towards answers, but you're not going to have all the answers. But it feels like there's going to be some kind of solution. Okay, we know the general reasons why it could be. Now we can start to unpack that. So it feels like progress, but not finality, if that makes sense. Any progress on my foot fracture healing? Is it possible you're like your hips are off or something? Like it feels like something's not aligned and that's causing more pressure to, like, you know how like when you're injured you kind of put all the weight on the other side. It feels like there's something like that that's thrown off. So like while the foot fracture seems to be healing, it feels like there's something else that needs to be readjusted and put back in place so that you can allow that healing to be maintained. Almost like the foot's healing, but if I go to walk on it again and my hips are way off, I'm going to be putting pressure on part of it that I needed to avoid putting all the pressure on. It's going to start to hurt again. It feels like needing to like maybe look into like chiropractor or something like that, making sure that everything else is where it needs to be. Feels like, yes, it's making progress, but also something else is thrown off. Can you please share a message and a song from Anne's father in heaven to her? Anne's father. He wants the opportunity to speak to her through music. If she can make some kind of playlist where there's like 50 or something songs that kind of remind her of him. There's like this conversation that he never got to finish with her that he wants to be able to finish in like a spirit type way. Yeah, it's my way back in. It's my way to give you the clarification or the answers. What is this about? Yeah, something that I wasn't able to finish when I was there. I would say to encourage her to make some kind of playlist with at least 50 songs that feels like it could be answers from him, or like maybe there's something they enjoy doing, or like signs that would be in a song. There's some kind of message that he wants to finish the conversation of. When your phone glitches, I'm sending you signals. As a soul, I can be in several places at once, and the world in reverse and justice. It's like something that he wants to make right, or something that he wants to complete through music, it feels. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong is the song. Feel like I'm being drawn to read cards. I purchased your true crime deck. Am I correct? This is my guides telling me something or making me aware of something. So what's interesting is I just put that in backwards as I went to shuffle. It feels like there's a need to also use another deck in combination with that deck. Some kind of tarot or some kind of like clarifier deck. Almost like whatever's trying to come through may be a little shocking to you. So if you have a second deck to help clarify what you're receiving for the first deck, you'll be more inclined to know that you're getting the message correctly. So after tarot, typically this is just the one person. Here, someone else is coming back to give them a drink. And we have the King of Cups here, which would be the drink. So it does feel like your guides are helping pour into you what you need to know. It's just knowing how to trust your interpretation of it. So getting like a second clarifier deck so that you trust what you're receiving from the first deck. Should I buy an older used car for cash or should I finance a newer used car? Buy an older used car for cash. Finance a newer used car. Reverse. Is there someone who would have it? I almost want to say, like, I'm leaning towards saying to you that be very mindful of the older used car, because it feels like there may be a situation where if you don't choose very carefully, you may run into pouring a lot of money into a problem that you didn't see coming. However, it doesn't feel like it's the right time to finance a newer used car either. So I guess I'd say proceed with caution. If you can wait a little bit until you get your finances more in order, or like maybe put a little bit more away so you can do a little bit more of a down payment on financing a newer used car, it feels like that's the better option. But if you have to rush and do it now, just be very mindful. Like, I guess I'd say you can do the buying an older car, but just put some money away in case there is an issue that you don't foresee. But ideally, I would say wait a little longer, get your finances in order, and go for the financing a newer used car if you can wait. Was my mom's childhood house haunted in Montgomery, New York? Her and her 5 sisters had the same dream every night of floating down the stairs. It's interesting because you said floating down the stairs. We have floating down here. We have the opposite here. I would say it feels like there's an energy in that house that wasn't ready to leave it yet. Some kind of, I almost want to say like an energetic influence. I don't know why I want to word it that way. An energetic influence. Red light, stop. So not, I didn't want to leave. I couldn't leave. I'd be interested to know if there's any like unsolved, it doesn't feel like anything relating to your family. It feels more like something relating to the house or the area, almost like a soul that's trapped there until whatever it was that they were involved in the 3D is wrapped up. I would say definitely yes, but it doesn't feel like it was necessarily because of them, more so like because of an energy attached to the home itself. Like, I'm unable to get out. Not I don't. Okay, that was weird. I don't know why it just did that. I said, not that I don't want to leave, that I can't leave. And then my whole thing exited out. That's interesting. And now I don't know where I'm on this list. I would say yes, haunted, but not because of them, more because of the house. It's weird. It's like an energy that literally can't leave until something in the 3D is wrapped up. Oh, I think this like deleted all the previous. What in the heck? All right, let me go back to these and see if they come back. What are my third eye and crown? Why are my third eye and crown chakras blocked? Why are my third eye and crown chakras blocked? Self-sabotage patterns and repetitive pattern syndrome in reverse. Spiritual disconnection. It feels like inner critic type energy, almost like you were trying to find a way to convince yourself away from listening to your intuition in some kind of situation, and you learned the hard way, but it feels like now there's this kind of like self-blame of, well, why didn't I listen the first time? Am I going to listen to my intuition again? It feels like needing to start to write down or like make note of at least your intuitive hits so that you can rebuild that trust. It just feels like self-trust that got diminished because of some kind of situation that you didn't all the way listen to your intuition about. Thank you. Oh, I almost dropped that. I almost dropped the November card on the floor. So it feels like something significant for you. Stop letting your potential go to waste because you don't feel ready enough. People with half of your talent are making serious waves while you're still waiting to feel ready. It feels like you're preparing to take some kind of leap of faith on yourself in November. So you have like a month and a half-ish, a little under, to get ready for something. So start the preparation now is what I'm hearing. Will the meet up with my son be good? Will the meet up with my son be good? Yes, but there's some bit of like, I don't get to say everything I wanted to say, or looking back after, I wish I could have said this, but it feels like whatever you don't say, there's a reason for it, and you'll have the space to say it at the time when it will be most beneficial or most appropriate. But with 10 of Cups here, I do feel like it's going to go well. But yeah, there's something that you hold back, but for good reason. Almost like a seed that's still in incubation, that's not all the way ready to sprout yet. You got to continue to pour into it a little bit more. Is my mom the bungee cord? Is my mom the bungee cord? Yes. I almost want to say not the only bungee cord, but the main bungee cord. Oh, okay. So that would be the bungee cord. It's interesting because I was saying that, I was looking at that as the bungee cord too. And now we have this snake and the dog next to the hermit. It feels like your mom and someone who's close to your mom, or someone who you'd put in the same category as your mom, whatever that means. It could be like an aunt or it could be father. It feels like your mom and. Last one, then I'm going back to the other list. Hopefully the rest of the other list came back. How can I best celebrate my husband tomorrow? What will be significant as a sign? Okay, so that's interesting. That's somebody's shadow. What will be significant as a sign? There's stars on that token and a shadow. It's going to feel like something, like a certain energy is like following you around, almost like how do I explain this? Like a piece that builds on another piece that builds on another piece. You know, when people do like scavenger hunt type things, it's almost like there's this spiritual scavenger hunt unfolding. You don't have to do anything but be present so that you can see the signs that are being sent to you. I don't have any other way to do it. So typically this is just the one person on the card because it's after tarot. Someone's coming back to set this person free. It's like this feeling of, this is the only way I have to communicate this to you. So just be as present as possible and allow me to kind of do my thing. Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra. Okay, so I think when I exited out, all of the other comments before 10:39 went away. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know how to get back to them. Do I not have live replay on? 1 second. 1 second. I do. Okay. Is my intuition strong now? Yeah, I think I lost some messages when my screen exited out. Sorry about that, guys. Is my intuition strong now? Yes, because you're trusting yourself and you're staying aligned with self-love. Before, you were kind of locked out of that when you were, look, we have night, night, and night. Before, you were at battle with yourself when it came to internal dialogue, but you've done something to correct course there. And it's almost like as soon as you did that, your intuition showed proof of that, like it kicked in or it turned up. So you made some kind of choice to dismantle negative internal dialogue, and in that moment your intuition like flipped back on like a switch. It's like, okay, you're ready now, type of thing. Message from my mom. Message from my mom. Love Me Tender by Elvis Presley, and I'm being drawn to the whatchamacallit, the album picture says $1 Million Quartet, which I think means 4 people. King of Cups, Knight of Cups, 6 of Cups. Be gentle with yourself as you're unpacking pieces that have been repressed. You're graduating into like a higher level of emotional intelligence and emotional maturity. And with that comes your own body releasing stuff that you're now able to heal and handle. So be gentle with yourself through that process. It feels like there's something specific that either you've already been working through or you're going to be working through as it comes to the surface here. And there's a need to kind of give yourself grace with it. Do the things you love. Never regret doing what makes you feel happy. Don't let yourself sit into like a sulking state. Allow yourself to make something out of your pain, whether that be writing or art or like some kind of movement or some kind of like rearranging your house or something. Don't sit in stagnancy with the energy. Move it around. Do something with it. Use it for your benefit. New member, thank you. Not everyone is your mirror. Sometimes the greatest lesson is witnessing the type of energy you'll never match, embody, or reflect. Sometimes when people are projecting something onto you, it's not because of something that you need to heal. It's more of witnessing the way in which someone else's lack of healing has affected you in the past. So don't look at it as a punishment. Look at it as a shifting of perspective. Any messages? There's more planning needed behind the scenes, almost like an idea that can be your golden ticket, but there's more needing to be done in like the blueprint building up before it's ready to share. Almost like if you rush into something too soon, it could all fall apart. Or if you spend more time in the build-up phases, it could be more than you imagined it being. So there's a need for patience right now with that. One more, then I'm going back to the other list. Will I get this job and be financially stable again before everything falls apart? Will you get this job and be financially stable again? Is it possible you don't get this job, but you still end up figuring out something else that's going to be better for you? And I'm noticing the lights hitting this guy. I need to get a different light for here. Anyway, it's hitting this guy right in the heart space. It's almost like your heart chakra is what's being tested right now. Like, will you stay aligned with self-love even when there's difficulty externally and it's the most hard? It doesn't feel like you're going to get this, but it feels like you're going to get something. It's the same contradictory energies. It's like you're not getting what you wanted, you're getting what you needed. I feel like you're getting something, but it's not going to unfold in the way that you're expecting it to or feeling like you need to. Your birthday. It feels like there's some... Okay, so if your birthday is in the next 2 months, I feel like it's the upcoming birthday that everything will be back to calm for. If your birthday is more than 2 months away, I feel like you're going to have the answer on that job by the birthday. I really lost all of those. How did I lose them? Just from the exiting out. Any messages from my dad? Any messages from my dad? Not all advice is good advice. Sometimes your intuition doesn't need to be checked, or sometimes when it feels like someone's giving you advice on something you were considering and you're like, oh, that must be kind of divinely sent advice. It's not always that way. There's like a testing of your intuition, and there's a need to not look outside of yourself for answers that can be found within. Don't look outside of yourself for answers that can be found within if you give yourself a little time to just sit in silence or sit with your thoughts. You'll get a better answer that way than you will by bouncing ideas off of someone else right now. The ideas that you have don't need to be unpacked by another person with a less level of understanding than you. And I have California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas. I have gone through my life review and there are still so many lessons to be learned. Everything happens for a reason. Trust the divine plan. Allow yourself to shift perspective as you've seen him do in the past right now. Any message for my birthday that was on Saturday from A? Happy birthday. You're not giving yourself enough credit here. You feel like because you've had to change certain things in order to protect yourself that you're missing out on things, but you're not. You're in this like calm before the storm energy, but you are the storm. It's not a bad storm. It's you stepping into controlling the environment instead of the environment controlling you. So there's a need to give yourself more credit so that you can really own that role in your life. Pay attention to synchronicities. It's time. I feel happy and healthy. So if you're worried about A is almost like your cheerleader through this change. Here Comes the Sun from the Beatles. Is K the bungee cord? Is K. Interesting that that's the one that fell into the ground because I said it's your mom and. It does feel like this is that person, almost like throwing stones and hiding my hands, don't want you to win, feel like you owe me something is the energy. Message from Spirit and a song. Conquer by High Res. And it has this little superhero guy with his dog on the card, which makes me think of the Fool. So the Fool to the Magician, you're taking a step forward here. Sometimes you need to take the step forward before seeing how the next steps could unfold. There's a need to kind of trust your magic here is how I want to word that. And you're going to start to see signs of, like, you take the right step and you get a confirmation that it was the right step. You're not going to necessarily see what comes next yet, but you'll get a confirmation that the step you made was the right one. Ice Cream with number 44. One of the cards in my Faith Over Feelings deck says, don't let your ice cream melt while you're counting someone else's sprinkles. It feels like there's a need to focus right now on what's going right for you, even if it feels like there's more right things happening for other people. It's like your time is coming, but you need to kind of tunnel vision into what you want to focus on the most right now. Go back to these. What is ease energy right now? Resisting some kind of change. I'm resisting some kind of change when it comes to taking accountability to correct a long-standing connection. Yeah, it's like I should be up fighting for this, but I'm just sitting down and hoping that it works itself out. I would say the energy of avoidance, and I have the Hermit in reverse on the bottom of the deck. So I'm avoiding looking within at someone else's expense. Last one, then I'm going back to the other list. Is Jay my soulmate or just my best friend? We've been best friends for almost 30 years. Soulmate. Best friend. Kind of soulmate. So I don't feel like soulmate as in like the ultimate person that you're meant to end up with. I feel like soulmate as in past life connection. The two of you have some kind of necessary lessons to teach one another about what it means to choose yourself, to stand up for yourself, to defend, like, my feelings and thoughts and opinions matter, and I'm not going to dim them for the sake of other people. It does feel like the two of you will keep encountering one another until you've mastered the lesson. It does feel like there's some kind of commitment made to one another to help each other work through this certain facet. It doesn't feel like ultimate, like, final partner. It feels like someone who is necessary, like each of you are necessary for each other's learning and growth when it comes to a very particular lesson. What is the wound for you? Humiliation wound. Persistent shame, avoidance of social interactions, and chronic self-doubt. So it feels like this person's helping you get the right tools to work through that. All right, last one, then back to the other list. I think I just said that, but I forgot. Do other people use my energy, copy me to make their lives better and to get ahead? Use my energy. It feels like either trying to dig into your energy to figure out what works and doesn't work for you, or how you do things, like study your mind. And also this is like, I cloak myself in your energy. So this could be kind of like dream attacks or like attempted karma swaps in the dream state. I would say yes. It's kind of a big yes. Is the spirit of Lewis Jr. trapped in his house? Is it Lewis Jr.? Is this the one where I said it's like, not that I don't want to leave, I can't leave? Because that would be lovers in reverse. It's not my choice. It's not my choice. Something needs to be wrapped up. Secrets being revealed. Lack of forward progress. Heading in the right direction. But there's two paths on this card. I'm wondering if there's two energies that are trying to wrap up something between the two of them before being able to fully pass on or pass over. But heading in the right direction, I do feel like that's at least one of potential multiple energies. I would say there's either one or two energies, and that would be definitely one of them. The force is strong with your internet. I know. That was like right on cue, too. Any messages regarding my relationship? There's some kind of conversation that needs to be had for any kind of forward progress to be made here. It's like, you can't expect to get on the same page if you're not willing to open the book type of thing. But it doesn't feel like you. It feels like the other person, like you open the book and they're like, oh, closing that. It feels like there's a difficult conversation that needs to be had for any forward progress to be made here. Otherwise, things will stay in this state of either walking on eggshells or like waiting for the other shoe to drop type energy. Why are my husband's 3 kids so hateful and self-absorbed? Will he ever have a relationship with them? Kids. Unable to get away from some kind of sadness or wound. Kids unable to get away. Inferiority wound, but it came out in reverse. It feels like they're placing themselves above his reproach. It's like, if we make you feel less than, then you don't have a say in how we handle this particular piece of our wound or our life. External validation. It feels like they're taking bad advice or listening to the wrong influence. Creativity blockage. It feels like there's like this wound that they're not remembering how it originated correctly. Like they have either convinced one another or they've allowed an outside interference to convince them that a wound that's not related to him is actually his fault. It feels like an inner child, inner teen wound. Will they ever have a relationship with him? I feel like they're eventually going to see that they've been misled in their own unpacking of what they feel to be the problem. So I do feel like it's possible, but it feels like it's going to be some time. Almost like somebody needs to hit a rock bottom to not him, them, to recognize that like what I thought to be true is not the reality type thing. Are my parents around me? Oh. Well, death in reverse. Page of Swords. Yes, big yes. They communicate to you the most clearly when you are not being as hard on yourself or when you're not trying to find fault in yourself for the obstacles in life that are trying to actually help you to learn the lessons you need to move forward. So when you're able to let the little things go and when you're able to not run from your feelings. They're able to most clearly communicate with you and show you their presence, but they're with you all the time. It's that breakfast thing on the plate, 52. You're going to get a big sign from them before Christmas time is what it feels like. To confirm their presence. Put a Little Love in Your Heart by Jackie D. Shannon is the song. What do my spirit guides want to communicate to me? The reason that you're not making forward progress in the area that feels blocked is because there's some kind of change that you're not seeing. You're looking for something externally, but you already have the tools internally. And until you kind of view that way, you're going to keep being blocked because you're trying to get something externally that you don't need. It's like the answers are within, but for some reason you got frustrated and started to seek them externally. But there's a need to reshift that focus, because seeing that you already have all you need to make the change will allow you to make forward progress in where you currently feel stuck. I just did a homeschool stash for a student, 5-year-old with cancer. What are his parents' thoughts on me so far? Felt off energy from mom, no judgment. It's not yet. I feel like, yes, you're picking up on the off energy. You're correct. But it's not you. It's more of like, how do I want to word this? I guess I'd say like jealousy, but not like jealousy, more just like, I don't know how much time my son has. I wish that I could be the one to do all the different things for him that need to be done, but I also realize how I'm not always the most qualified person to do that type of thing. It doesn't feel like it's you. It feels like things that she's struggling with within herself that have nothing to do with you. So yeah, Wheel of Fortune reverse. It's like, I guess just seeing certain things are triggering, and because she's unable to like fix the situation for him, she finds self-blame, and then there's this bit of like, I wish I could do more type thing. So I don't feel like it's you, especially with 10 of Pentacles in the bottom of the deck. I feel like they feel like you're a good fit. It's just this feeling of like, I wish there was more I could do, as in the mom. Message for the week. Message for the week. A rededication of your energy. There's a need to put down the burdens that you're carrying for other people, because it's not leaving you enough room for creative solutions to come through for your own, I want to say like enjoyment. There's a need for you to like take a break from a mental battle that you've been having to do something that you enjoy, but you're having trouble doing that because you're carrying someone else's burden for them. And it's making you feel like there's a need to kind of walk on eggshells or be in survival mode. There's a lot of heaviness in your energy that's not your heaviness. It's heaviness from someone else. And it's not that you can't help them. It's just needing to know how and when to put that down, so that, yeah, this is like a release of something, so that you can find enjoyment in, I almost want to say like your inner child feels like they're being suffocated because of all the heaviness. Yeah, Strength in reverse with 7 of Swords and the World in reverse. There's a need to allow your inner child to explore and play without being weighed down by something that you've been mentally carrying for another person. There's a need to kind of give yourself a vacation back into your own energy after taking some time to kind of see if you can find a solution for another individual. There's a need to come back to self this week. A shark with number 92. Shark in the water. You know how sharks can like eat a whole person and the whole person can like stay in their stomach? It's almost like that's where you've been. And now you need to swim back out so you can explore other options for yourself instead of being confined to the other person's stomach, if that makes sense. The Show Goes On by Lupe Fiasco. All right, 2 more here, and then super chats are still going to be closed. I'm going to finish up on the other list a little bit. Is my son-in-law cheating on my daughter? Lack of commitment, lack of home life fulfillment, breaking of commitment, confusion, multiple options that could be, the world in reverse. Has it gotten to the point of cheating or is it just avoidance? Confirm. So confirm that yes, he has at some point been unfaithful. Take inventory on what you know so far. Checkpoint. So full speed ahead would be the other option, not full speed ahead. I would say there's something that's crossed the line but has not gotten to the full point of cheating. Almost like the pieces are all on the table where it could happen, but they haven't connected yet. I do feel like there's something that she wouldn't be happy about, but it doesn't feel like it's gotten to the point of physical cheating yet. But it does feel like something that would make her question, how committed are you really to me if this is what you're acting like behind my back? Thank you. Any messages from my guides? Better Days by Dermont Kennedy. So Chariot just fell on my phone. That's why I hit the next song. So you're moving forward into better days here. You are the spark of magic within it, though. So there's something that you're not meant to be leaving in the past yet. Almost like some piece of a talent or a skill that you're like, I don't know how I could use that, but it's actually some kind of like golden ticket here for you. Yeah, King of Pentacles and Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Some kind of golden ticket. This is representing the Holy Grail that would lead to some kind of financial or security or stability of some sort. So there's a need to look at what you're good at and how you could use that to make money, it feels like, or how you could use that to further some kind of physical security element of your life. All right. Will my finances improve by the end of the year? Okay, so I would say it's not that there's necessarily more money coming in by the end of the year, but it feels like you're being freed from some kind of financial burden, or there's some kind of like opportunity to pay off some kind of debt, or some kind of debt being drastically decreased by the end of the year. So it doesn't feel like there's more necessarily able to be spent, but more of something being alleviated that you were having to spend money on, if that makes sense. Will my grandson get the house he is looking at on Thursday? It feels like there's something else that's coming that's going to be either something he's not expecting about the house that once he looks at it, he's like, I don't really know if I want to deal with that. Or there's like a second viewing that's going to be happening that he's going to be deciding between the two. King of Pentacles came out first, so I'm inclined to believe that he'll have the opportunity to get it if he does decide he wants it. Is that fair to say? Solid. It does feel like he's going to have the opportunity to get it if he wants it, but I almost feel like there's something else unexpected that he's going to be deciding between. Gonna do about 5 more, and then I have to go make Gavin lunch. I'm gonna hop back on later in the week. Because I still owe 20 minutes from last week, and then I'll still owe about 10 from today. So I'll probably hop on for at least an hour later in the week. And I'm gonna try and get some true crime readings out this week as well. Hopefully. I have one started, I just didn't get to finish it yet. Any message for me, especially about Elroy? I'm Still Standing by Elton John. It feels like there's a conversation that needs to be had here that's going to be daunting, then freeing. If this conversation has already happened, which it might have, it's almost like there's a change coming that's going to allow one person to see the perspective that the other person was trying to articulate in that conversation. So if the conversation hasn't happened yet, there may be a misunderstanding at first that then gets resolved, or if the misunderstanding already happened, there's some kind of resolution that's coming to it. There's someone who's needing to take further accountability. I don't know if accountability is the right word. Someone who needs to put themselves into observer mode to see other potential solutions, if that makes sense. I love this comment. Thank you. I love this chat room. People all care about each other. See, that's what I want. So I love that. I constantly see the number 311. Is there any significance? Is there a message I'm supposed to be getting when I see it? These cards are flying out. So 3 plus 2 is 5. This feels like a bit of a warning. Like when there's the opportunity to do something differently, this can be a change in strategy so that there's not a false start. So almost like if you're starting to veer down a direction that's like not going to be beneficial for you, you'll kind of see this as like a yield sign or like a warning sign of sorts to reevaluate or to readdress what you thought you knew. Yeah, getting warmer. So getting warmer with yield sign. So not a yield sign, more of a warning sign. Stop and readdress whatever you're going forth with in the flow, because the flow might not be serving you. It's like a yield to a break in the flow. Like what I'm seeing is like a lazy river at a water park. When you're meant to get out of the lazy river and take some kind of action, you're going to see this as like a wake-up call, I guess, of sorts. Oh, is Elroy ready to cross the rainbow bridge? Okay, that makes what I was seeing make more sense. Okay, so what did I say? A difficult conversation or a conversation that needs to be had. So is he ready to cross the rainbow bridge? I would say yes. That makes what I was getting make more sense, because I didn't feel like Elroy was a person, and that's why I was like, the conversation, how did I word that? I'm wondering if Elroy's a dog. I'm wondering if that's the dog in your picture. I do feel like there's this sense of I'm ready. No. Yes, in reverse. This sense of I'm ready, but you're not ready. I feel like it's not something that has to happen immediately, but something that you should be like kind of working towards. Like start to get yourself ready to take that step. I don't feel like you're ready yet. And I feel like if you do it now, it's going to seem too soon. Yeah, High Priestess in reverse. But there's a need to start to prepare yourself for that to be the case sooner rather than later. It's like kind of starting to get tired fighting. Starting to get tired of fighting is kind of how it feels. Is Anna's energy keeping Lewis Sr.'s energy in the house so he doesn't find out all the evil things she has done? Oh. I would say yes. I'm avoiding a tower. I need to not set you free, because if I set you free, there will be some kind of tower. I'm trying to conceal my evil heading in the right direction. Wait, didn't I get a different thing with 2 paths on it? And I said 2 people? Was that this question? I feel like yes, you're on the right track there, or you're heading in the right direction there. Yes. Oh yeah, the gifting memberships. I did not. I totally forgot to do that actually. I will let me make a note of that to do that before my next live. 1 second. Gifting memberships button. Find it. Gifting, not fitting. Gifting memberships button, ... find it. Okay, I will do that before the next live. I'm going to do 2 more and then I have to hop off. Past life with my mom. Past life with my mom. Power. I'm being drawn to abusive power here. Current lifetime power. It feels like you had the same dynamic that you have in this lifetime in a previous lifetime, and there was some kind of power struggle between the 2 of you. Secret society and health issues. It feels like there was secrets kept in previous lifetimes that made this like uneven power dynamic. Like, I don't want you to find out about this. Yeah, hiding something behind a wall. I don't want you to find out about this, so I'm trying to conceal this perspective from you. And that's the abuse of power. Yeah. So typically this hand is coming out of the cloud and it's an empty cup. But since it's after tarot, he has the cup and he's dumping it out. It's like, I have this and I don't want you to see it. It feels like a very similar dynamic to what you have in this lifetime. Just it feels like intensified in a previous lifetime. And this lifetime is like the healing of that, if that makes sense, in like a less intense way. All right, last one. I have to go make Gavin lunch. And I think today's Tuesday. I think it's Thursday I'll be back on. We were told to go forth with legal proceedings regarding my dad's passing. Thoughts? Let me get a song first. She's Got Away by Billy Joel. She's got a way forward. There's one major issue that you're going to have to overcome when it comes to presenting the case. If you can get a grip or handle on what the other side will present as a challenge when it comes to that issue, it could be smooth sailing, but that could be the one issue that holds it back or holds you up. What is that issue? A deal, a clock, help to overcome obstacles and learn independence, business partners, opposition, a repeated cycle, doubting of something, a favor, a gift. Time. It's possible that there may need to be some kind of testimony from someone with a connection to your dad, and it may be difficult to get that to come to fruition, whether that's like a medical professional or something like that. It's like if you can get that one piece, you're solid. Things improving, promotion, pay raise. External, woman, feminine things. If you can get the one piece, it feels like some kind of testimony or some kind of like, I observe something and I give my findings type thing. It feels like if you can get that, you're solid. But there's a need to have that, or there's not as much wiggle room to make your point, if that makes sense. Whatever it is that is represented by that piece of evidence or communication is like essential to proving what you need to prove here, is what I'm getting from that. And with strength on the bottom, I do feel like you're able to get it. Just know that it's very important to have. Stop second guessing and wondering what if you made the right decision. Okay, sorry to everyone whose questions I missed when that exited out. I don't know how that happened. What was I going to say? I'll be back on probably Thursday. Thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you to my mods. I don't remember what else I was going to say, so I'm going to get off. I will see you all soon. Thank you.